What is up, YouTube? AlphonZeus is Team Gradelock here with another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks Week. We're going to be going over the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 172, as well as results from our local and any more news that we have from Team Gradelock to our subscribers. Now, of course, when I said results from our local, I will only report on the tag team match that actually took place, and then we're going to be going into the Team League for 2014. I'm going to only discuss it briefly in a summary so that this video won't be too long, but I will offer a much more detailed analysis of the Team League 2014 that took place in New York later this week. And then as we move on, we're going to be talking about the next hype stuff that's going to be coming out for the next month in June, which just so happens to be the extra boosters for the Nova Grappler and Kagero. So, Ride 172, spoiler alert, you haven't seen the episode yet, please pause and close the video, go watch that episode, and then come back right here so we can discuss about it. Of course, if you don't want to do that, please click on the link in the description down below just to get to the results from our local. Now, Ride 172, meet Great Daikaiser. This is a hype episode. As you can see, first starting out the episode with both Masaki and Kamui going into some sort of an airport to meet up with somebody. And of course, don't worry about that. That's just this guy. And we run into a little girl who's a bit clueless. She keeps yelling out, Sarah, Sarah. And, you know, Kamui and Masaki are like, what is this girl doing? Why is she calling out Sarah? Who is it? And that he's doing some psychic powers, whatever. Then next thing you know, she ends up trying to go in the trash can, and then she attracts some attention. So, being the nice people that Masaki and Kamui are, you know what? We'll go through it. Why not? And so, by the time they got out, then she notices a donut store. Kind of like, you know, gets all wide-eyed and stuff like that. And Masaki's like, eh. But Kamui seems like he wants to be a little bit of, you know, a complimentary gentleman. Tries to go in his pockets, try and get some money, but to no avail. He has nothing. Because, of course, he bought too many boosters from the local. And so they ended up eating the donuts together, or at least Rati eating a lot of the donuts and stuffing them in Kamui's face. And Masaki kind of like, you know, nuzzling against her like a cat. Anyways, we get to see, okay, so who's the Sarah person? And then we get to see him appear. Then it seems tense for a second because it seems that Kamui thought he knew what team they were allied from because of how the way they dressed. Because at least Masaki realized what one of the Quacha Knights looked like. But then to break the ice, we have Kote. Kote comes in and just greets everyone hello, and oh hi, nice to meet you again. And then we get to see a card fight between Rati and Kote. This is insane because wow. Well, given the title, you already know what's going on. So, by the time it gets to the card fight, of course, a crowd already starts to assemble because, yes, these three champions, I may say, Central Asia, Emperor Kote, as well as, you know, Sarah from South America. It's all hype. Everyone's into it. And I'm surprised that an airport would have like tables of Cardfight Vanguard already set up for people to play test and play against each other with, because card games are apparently that big now. Well, in this world. So, game starts out. We get to see Shadow Paladin Witches versus Dimensional Priests, Dimensional Rebels, and I'm pretty hyped for this because introducing Great Daikaiser. So, we see Grade 1 ride, Grade 2 rides, all good. But the interesting part about the Witches now, dear God, I kind of like it. Because you just exchange rear guards, like from grade 2 and grade 1, so nobody's safe in the front or back row, and you exchange them for grade 0s. So it's like, do I even want a guard with 0s in my hand now? That kind of sucks. And so, at best, if you call a grade 1 as a booster, you're probably going to have a plus 5k. Or if you have a 4k, maybe it has an effect, you can soul charge it, or soul charge it to draw a card, whatever. It has some flaws, but still. That's crazy. And then we get to see Kote go his final turn. You know, use a Shadow Kaiser, Soul Charge him, Cross Break rides Great Daikaiser, Counterblast 1 for whatever it is, and then you Counterblast 2 for the attack. 3 drive checks. If he just put everything on the Vanguard, it would have been so much better. Because, okay, he beat Rati, that's cool, but of course this is plot armor, they're the villains. And so he puts all criticals on Vanguard, all critical and power to rearguard, and retire one of the 10k shields that Rati used as the quintet wall. So now even the witches get quintet wall now, which is interesting. But seeing the Legion from the witches, oh man, you just replace their interceptors with grade 0s. Wow. And so you just give them more You either give them more fodder to retire stuff with when playing against other decks that can counter that strategy, or you just literally just say, I gotta replace it and use up even more cards in my hand for next turn. So I like it because wow, that's just wow. I can't. I never knew Shadow Paladins would do something like that. Instead of like retiring their units, they would mess up their opponent's field through just okay, you're gonna have a grade 0 instead of an actual booster or attacking unit now. That can be pretty silly sometimes. And if you combo them all together, you can literally have a field almost full of grade 0s, which is mind-boggling to be honest. And so by the time we get to the end of the card fight, Rati wins. Okay. Then the next thing that happens is we see both Kamui kind of run off to kind of catch up with Sarah because it seems like he kind of left for a bit. And then Kote was like, see, you beat me. Just like what I would say before, but it was like, I get something. And then each time she does it, she does a little spell or abracadabra or whatever. I don't know, but I guess it suits her. It makes her kind of annoying, but still pretty. It's something to not underestimate against. And by the end of the episode, we get to see both Kamui and Misaki going up against two of the Quattro Knights that have not performed yet, and they already performed their prison, as I said. So we got Misaki versus Rati in the Thorn Garden prison, and then we get to see Kamui versus Sarah in this ice prison. Oh man, I got a bad feeling. Yep, Kamui and Misaki probably have to suffer the same fate as them, unless something happens and we get to see if the Quattro Knights get to suffer from their own prison. I do not know, but if so, maybe one of them will win. If not, then it's plot armor. Then they all lose, and they've all literally been at the point where it's like they would die. I'm not sure how Misaki and Kamui would take it if they lose, but I hope that somebody will get there in time. And since Kote went back to his to the same spot where he did the card fight with Rati, I guess he wouldn't realize where they go because he didn't even see Sarah there well because he still had to wait for his other team who was conveniently stuck in traffic. And it seemed that of course Rati and Sarah's thing was to make sure Kote doesn't remember who Aichi was, or else now he's all caught up with the 5 that are looking for Aichi as a mate. So this is actually a pretty good episode. We get to see a new archetype evolve from the Shadow Paladins, which kind of breaks the mold a little bit because that's not usually Shadow Paladin strategy, but these witches are just messing up their field and this magic, and it's like, this is literally like, okay, I'm gonna mess up your field, so you have to do something in order to, really get past it. Okay, well, it's a Legion, and that Shadow Paladin Legion is pretty broken in terms of messing up the opponent's field, but of course there are always ways to play around that. And so, I like this episode. I didn't see the preview for the next one. Apparently it's called Illusionary Rati, so I'm not sure what decks they're going to be playing up against. I didn't see the preview yet, but I am looking forward to it, and I hope that you will too, because this is going to be, we're finally going to see what's going to happen with this Quattro Knights and what's going to actually happen among this, this group, how they're going to fight back. And hopefully what broken legions will come out of them fighting. So that's going to be good. And it might be setting up for the end of Season 4 with who's going to be fighting who in order to at least try and find Aichi. And that's it for the episode. Of course, if you have any suggestions or any comments on the episode itself that I did not go over, feel free to comment down below and get a conversation started. So now let's get to the Friday before Team League. We had a tag team event, which was 6 teams. I partnered up with Alex. He was running the Shadow Paladin Avengers. I was running Dimensional Robos of Dimension Police. First round we went up against, I think it was John at Ian. They were playing, he was Gradelock at 2 with, I think, Link Joker, and Ian was playing, I think, MOB. And pretty much, even though he was Gradelock, he got the crit on me on both his grade 1 and grade 2 rides. He wasn't able to do the grade 3. And how we got the 9th damage for Alex and myself, I had grade 3s in my hand, I couldn't really guard, and he had the trigger, so it was like, just something to Vanguard. And I needed a 10k shield, I only had 2 grade 3s and a 5k. So I had to take it, and they were surprised, but they got the win. And then second team we played up against was Adam and his friend. We ended up, Sean and his friend, I think. And we ended up losing that again because they managed to get. It was a really close game because I was playing MLB and Adam was playing, I think Tachikaze or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the way that tag team match actually unfolded was just, it was really down to triggers because we got heals, they got crits, we got crits. It was a legit game, and I wasn't able to do the break ride because I was stuck with Dayusha most of the time. I used Die Barrett, so I managed to at least have that crit pressure on it. Just I wasn't able to get triggers. So they won that. I think the top two teams ended up being Jason and another guy. Apparently they were called team last second because they just formed a team right before the tournament started. And I think the other team at the top was CK and I think Arturo, and they got it. And then we can move on to the Team League 2014. I'll only dive into what happened as a summary on behalf of what Team Gradelock went through, but I'll also provide a later video, as I said before, so it can go over the Team League 2014, how that actually all broke down. For Team Gradelock, it was the main Team Gradelock team, which was CK, Josh, and Arturo. And then there was my team, the Team Sanctuary Alliance Paladins Overpowered. We were supposed to be Team USA Pals, which is United Sanctuary Alliance Paladins Overpowered with stacking, whatever. And they nerfed our name, Gibbs. And so we ended up going to round 0 because there were over 200 teams that entered in the New York Regional, which was insane because that broke a new record because now in North America, that's the largest event they ever had, which is over 600 people attending this event. In fact, it was so huge that they ended up doing around 0, where everybody, pre-reg and registration included, had to fight against each other in order to qualify for the actual tournament to take place. That turned a lot of people off because it was single elimination. And they started late. I'll explain more in the next video, though. Almost all the members of, or actually almost all the members of our local game on made it past round 0. Only one team didn't. And for both Team Gradelock and Team Sanctuary Alliance, we ended up going, we survived. We actually survived the 6 rounds after the round 0. So that means that round 1, I know that I was playing Dimensional Robo, Dimensional Police. Jason was playing the Shadow Paladin Avengers, and Alex was playing the Beast Deity Nova Grapplers. So Alex and Jason ended up switching decks. And I thought that was interesting, but it worked out for us. I know that in the 6 rounds that we had, we went X and 1, and so did Team Gradelock X and 1. So we actually survived all 6 rounds. I know first round we went up, we did a sweep, and the thing is though, each time we gave, we went up against another team. I gave them my business cards per se. I'll just show you what it looks like. Got them printed out picked it up on Friday. Kinda looked like this. I don't know if you see it. Thank you, Joe, for making these business cards for us. I'm definitely gonna be passing that out and when we visit other locals and stuff too. So big props to you. And we also made the new logo. So the intro that you saw earlier, it's not just the random logo where I have to get that off of and download it for free, but I ended up having an actual logo designed by Joe. So thank you for that. Props to you. Now, by the time we got to round 2, we also did a 2-1. I think I lost, but Jason and Alex was pulling through. And then Team Grail was still undefeated until round 5. And the thing is, though, both of us, we lost to Team Unstoppable Blaster. Jason won that match, but Alex and I lost because Alex wasn't able to rush him down in time, and I was Gradelocked at 1. So that kind of sucked. And then Team Gradelock, when they went up against them in round 5, they kind of didn't make it either, but Team Unstoppable Blaster made it undefeated all the way through the 6 rounds. So by the time it all ended, my team ended up in 10th place, and Team Gradelock ended up in 4th place after the top cut. And we kind of missed out. I hope that they would do a top 16, but of course, alright, top 8, that's okay. But at least one of us made it through. And when they announced Team Gradelock, everybody was like, "Oh, Gradelock, oh god." And like we kind of made history because we were the only two teams from Team Gradelock that actually topped at a Vanguard regional, so we felt very proud of that. And despite all the circumstances and how usually with Vanguard they call it a game of luck and more than ever, but at least we had to survive through all that, and at least one of us topped. The only reason why, like, we had a chance is that in case any of the top 8 teams get DQ'd, we would be the next shoe-in. Everybody passed the check. So, next thing that we're going to be going through, top 8. I know that they made it past around the top 8 to top 4 because of a timing issue. It was really, okay, time, whoever has less damage wins. And Arturo got it because he had less damage than the guy at the time, so he just passed turn. I was like, okay, won. And then went to round 4. I saw that CK was gradelocked. Josh won for his team, but it was Arturo and CK that lost, so they ended up losing out of top 4. But they fought a team for 3rd place, and it all came down to Arturo again with great nature, and it came down to sudden death because now it went to game 3, and so okay, whoever takes damage loses. That's how it is. Because top 8, it's best of 3, but it's 20 minutes total. And Arturo got it because he went 2nd. So he called his rear guards, like 2 columns, the Vanguard column and the rear guard column. And the guy only had grade 3s and like a 2 in his hand, so he couldn't guard. And therefore, Team Gradelock got 3rd place because of that. I'll explain more as we go along, at least in the separate video just for Team Week, but those are the results that we had. I'm very proud that at least Team Gradelock made it. It's just that how they made it, it was really, why would you do this? For timing reasons and that. I know that, you know, you have another tournament to set up for tomorrow, which happens to be today for Buddy Fight and, you know, Way Schwartz, but still, it's something that we need to do. And luckily, I actually managed to meet up with some other YouTubers for Vanguard, including Domino, you know, I Am Vanguard. I met up with a couple of them, and we're really happy that, you know, like we managed to, you know, reach out to them, say, hey, you know, a couple of my members are fans of your channel, so we want to check it out, and, you know, like, we just want to show our support. So he gave us some signed sleeves, and he even signed our mat for us, so that was actually pretty cool. I really like it. Big props to him for that. And we managed to record a casual series match featuring myself going up against Domino with, you know, the decks that we were using for the team league. And so it was a really big hype moment for that, and I'm glad that it happened. Now, this was a Vanguard news. Dear God, next June it's gonna be the extra boosters. Nova Grapple is gonna get their extra booster. Kagero is gonna get their extra booster. I don't think everyone's gonna probably go in Novell because grade 4. Oh my goodness, no 6 damage heal triggers for you. And damn, that's really good. So I guess in terms of that, pretty much just starting over from square one, go to locals, try and top. And now that school's out for most of us, oh my god, thank you. We can actually do a bit more content. So as I go along, I'll be able to attend a couple more local tournaments for Vanguard, and also I'll be hyping up stuff for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I know that the Primal Origin sneak peek is this Saturday too, so I want to participate in that. And I also want to see what exactly is going to be in store for Vanguard, especially in terms of the releases for later on. I know with, you know, after the extra boosters come out, we're gonna get set 14, and it's gonna be tight because you got Ashley Reverse, you have Ashley Reverse. I'm just okay. She's like one of the bigger units to actually take a hold of. But you also have the Azel Grand Scissors as well as the Narukami. I think it was Tempest Bolt Dragon, if I'm not mistaken. But set 14 is going to be a really big support for all the clans that didn't get that much support in set 13 or set 12. Aside from that, I'm gonna see if I can record another casual series match for you guys. I know that Henry put up a sneak peek kit opening because Massive CK and Henry, he bought out like 2 pizza boxes of stuff, and you saw how broken their pulls was. It was even better than just buying a box of a set. You just buy the pizza box and you're kind of good to go because you have more chances to pull more broken stuff. And you pretty much proved it in that video. It's probably better to save up for that. Although getting boxes is pretty good because at least you have a lot of the at least you have a chance to get more cards out of a box than a pizza box. Because even though it's like 6 boosters, so I think there's 8. That's 48. Oh wait, no, it's actually better to get the sneak peek kit. My bad. So it's probably better to get the sneak peek kits when they come out. And pretty much what the locals are going for, they're probably going to be ordering and ordering and ordering and ordering. So that's pretty much what's been going on in the world of Vanguard. And Buddy Fight. Oh, Dungeon World's coming out in July. I'm so hyped. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. And I guess in terms of other news, I'm gonna be I want to collaborate with the other YouTube channels that I've mentioned, as well as some other YouTube channels in their network, because what we want to do is to combine together and try and petition, or at least get in talks with Bushiroad on their tournament scene, because there are very glaring issues in terms of competitive Vanguard, especially with everybody calling it out for being so luck based. So I thought that it would be very good if we ended up having a chance to get a you know get kind of like a group together as a community to try and change the competitive scene. That's our main goal, and of course I'll explain more in that Team League video. But until then, I hope you all enjoy this. I'll have the casual series match up for you tomorrow. And that's it for me. My name is AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. I will see you all next time. Take care.